Hi guys! So this time I'm doing a voiceover because I first want to show you my fastest lap, a 202.4 without commentary, and then we see my crash from 3 angles, and then we analyze why I crashed. So let's go! Alright, and now the crash. First I show you the cockpit view, then the rear view, and then the inside helmet cam, where you can also hear my voice after the crash.
I'm okay, yeah.
Alright, so as you can see, I just walked away from the crash, so I luckily wasn't injured, and that's always the most important, of course. So now let's analyze why I crashed. This crash was a mid-corner low-side crash over the front. That means when I leaned the bike very much into the corner, I crashed somewhere around the apex, so the inner curb of the corner, because the front tire lost its grip. And to understand why the front tire can slip away, I need to describe how to ride a corner fast and safe. If you already know that stuff, yeah, you can skip this part here. And for the explanation, I chose a 180-degree corner to show you that even in those corners, you should be either braking or accelerating, but not rolling to keep the bike stable. So on the straight, you of course are full throttle here, just waiting for your braking marker. So for me, that will be a white line you can see in here a few meters on the left. It's coming here left side. So now I'm braking really hard. And immediately I downshift all the gears to the second gear. And that is important to have a strong engine brake, which makes your rear wheel brake. And at the same time, of course, I brake as hard as I can in the front. And now comes the difference to cars. When you start to lean the bike into the corner, it's very important to still brake quite hard in the front. And then the more you lean the bike, the less you brake. This method has two advantages. You can brake later because you can still brake until you are really far into the corner. And the front tire is loaded, which means it's more weight on the front, so the tire has more grip. It is also possible to crash during braking when you lean the bike, but trust me, it requires very hard front braking before that happens. And now at this stage, you see now I'm still braking, but of course not super hard. You see I'm getting slower and slower and slower, still braking, I think until like 94 kilometers or something. I think now I go off the brake. And now I start to slightly accelerate again. So of course the first impulse soft. And now the more I pick up the bike, the harder I can accelerate out of the corner. Because as many of you know, if you accelerate too hard immediately, you will get a high side crash. It's like a slide of the rear wheel and then it grips again and then you fly off the bike and that is really uncomfortable. Yeah, so that's basically how to ride the corner fast and safe. So I think many of you have seen a high side crash or experienced something like this. And actually, the crash reason number one amongst track day riders for a low side crash where the front slips away in the corner is actually also the throttle. And often the rider does not know what he did wrong and thinks, yeah, I was just leaning too much, probably. So I want to give you one more example of an even longer corner here. Because you might say sometimes I have to keep the same speed in the corner, not like the last corner, because the corner is just too long. And that's right. So you need something like support throttle. Not sure if that's the right term in English. In German, it's called Stützgas. It's important to use a bit throttle because just rolling will get you too slow due to the engine brake. So now here in this video you see I'm entering the corner, I'm on the brakes, I'm yeah, leaning into the corner, very far, still braking, and about now, uh, now I started to use a little bit of throttle just to keep the same speed. Um, Again, very gentle, because if you're too hard on the throttle, the first impulse, the front gets too light and you slide away. And here I stay a bit in the left because I want to overtake this guy. So now I start to pick up the bike and accelerate much, much harder. And yeah, look at the bike, very beautiful, the new Fireblade. And I need to be quick because the left corner is approaching. I just made it into the corner. So after this good example, now I show you how not to do it. It's another video of me and another crash. In total, I crashed 3 times this far. So in Mugello was the third crash. And just to give you an idea, I do 8 events this year. I did 5 or 6 last year and 3 events the year before, and overall 3 crashes. So yeah, what happened here? Actually, it happened what I just explained you should be careful with. The first throttle impulse needs to be very gentle. And this is exactly, yeah, where I made a mistake. I'm going here now, right corner, left corner, and then this next right corner. You can check the RPM and the TC bar. There was, you can see this TC bar is going up and the RPM, and right after that, now I accelerate, now it's shaking, and then I lost it. So it's quite obvious that after I accelerated, the front got light, or because I accelerated, front got light, the bike starts to shake. So now accelerate, bike starts to shake, and the front is gone and I lose it. And that was definitely the reason there. Yeah. All right, and now back to the big question. Why did I crash in Mugello? Was it the throttle mistake I just explained? Or was it maybe a line issue? Was it the tire? Was it something else? Yeah, I'm quite happy to say that I didn't do the same mistake as last time. It wasn't the throttle. We can see it now in the video. I have a few slow-mos again. So I'm braking here. I'm turning the bike into the corner. I'm going towards the apex. And you will see at 149, now I start to lose it. 46, 42, it goes inside. And now there was the TC. If you go back to the beginning of this video where you hear it with sound, you hear that there is some acceleration, but it's actually way after the front slipped away already. So let's check it again. It will go down to, I think it is 149, and then you can check the camera. It's mounted to the top of the fork, Gabelbrücke. I forgot how to say in English. So if the bar change, you will see it goes to the right at 149. Now the camera turns a bit to the right. It starts now, 46, and nothing, no TC bar, no refs. And now at 142, the TC bar goes on, and there's the little ref, RPM, sorry. I'm sure it was not the throttle, so it must be something else. Is it because I was too fast? That's what most riders say. So let's see. I compare it here. I have the fastest lap in the right and the crash in the left, and you see the speed is exactly the same around the apex. It's maybe 1 kilometer off or something. But there's a difference. So speed, I think, was okay, but the line is a bit different. I was a bit more in the left when I crashed, and yeah, this can definitely be a problem because the road goes off to the left side and it goes downhill. So in general, I have a bit less grip. And there was someone who told me there are some bumps in the left side. I have to admit I didn't feel it. Of course, bumps can be the reason that the front loses its grip, but I wasn't too far off, maybe 30-40 centimeters. It looks like I'm very far to the left, but if you check now the right side, I'm in the middle of the road, not even, so I'm not like completely on the left side on the track on the crash lap. It can't be. It was maybe half a meter off. So I think can be maybe a bit the bumps, but I think there is definitely also another reason. So let's check other reasons. Yeah, if it wasn't an obvious riding mistake, we should definitely check about the tire. I'm sorry that this takes really long now, but analyzing the tire choice is not that simple. So yeah, I explained from start to finish. It was a 3 days event, Friday to Sunday. I did the fastest lap in the first stint on Sunday morning, and there I used a Bridgestone VO2 medium in the back and Pirelli SC2 big size in the front. That is the tire you see in the top right here on the screen. So for the second stint on Sunday, I kept the SC2 from Saturday in the front, as it was not even 2 days old, and then I crashed in that stint. By the way, I started on Friday on an old SC1 and then changed to SC2 on Saturday, and immediately felt that it's much more stable during braking and it turns very tight into the corner, which I really liked. And it was the first time ever I used the SC2, so it was a new tire for me. And I was really happy, but I have to admit that I did not really feel very well where the limit was. With the SC1 it was different. I did my race in Most with that. You also see it on this channel. Um, and I felt like I cannot crash. I know it's not true, you can always crash, but the feeling was amazing. But when I was braking really hard with the SC1, I felt like it's going a bit wide. Um, so yeah, back to the crash stint on Sunday. In the morning stint with my fastest lap, I felt that the rear tire did not have good grip anymore. It was like, I think it was the sixth turn for it. So 6 times like 15 minutes. And it started to slide when I go out of the corner. So I said I put a fresh VO2 medium in the rear because it was the last stint before my race. And I just wanted to do 3 fast laps to get the tire pressure right in the rear because I once had problems of way too high tire pressure with a new tire. So yeah, front tire, it was over 30 degree. The track temperature was over 30 degree, and so it was very hot. So our SC2 should be a good choice for the front in these conditions. And yeah, let's check the tire pressure in the front. After the stint, the SC2 was different to me pressure-wise compared to the SC1. For the SC1, I always had more pressure after the stint compared to when I took the tire warmers off before I started. But with the SC2, I started with 2.35 bar before my first stint in the morning with the fastest lap. And when I came back after the stint, I had 2.28 bar. So then I decided to add like 0.5 or a bit more to 2.35 again, because the weather then got a bit hotter. So I think I should have been or at like a bit above 2.35 in the second stint. So the pressure was okay when I crashed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, in general, 2.3 bar in the front is a good pressure for a front tire. But Pirelli says 2.35 to 2.5 is correct for the Superbike tires like the SC1 and SC2, as you see here on the top left. I thought 2.5 is really high. Actually, when I started to ride 3 years ago, I always put a bit less pressure than the tire company said because I thought I will have more grip. So for example, I rode Bridgestone VO2 with 2.2 to 2.25 in the front. But actually after some riding, I would say this year, I found out that if you put more pressure in the tire, in the front tire, the grip is still good, but the tire will turn much better. So you can do a much tighter in line into the corner, or you can lean the bike much quicker on the brakes. So I suggest you stick to what the companies say and not use a too low pressure. So this was my feeling about the tire, and now let's see what Pirelli says. You can see in the top left. Oh, actually, I thought I said top left before. It was the bar pressure. It was in the bottom right. Anyways, so Pirelli says SC1 should have the best contact feeling and the highest performance, like grip performance. And SC2 is more stable and more consistent. SC3 is an endurance tire. It lasts very long. So yeah, I was wondering before why I see a lot of professionals, most of them riding SC2, if it says SC1 has the best feeling and the highest performance. Because consistency is not really important for the top riders if they throw it away after 20 laps. Of course, it can collapse within a few, like 5-6 laps, the front tire, if you go really hard. But I think the main reason why they use SC2 is because it's much more stable on the brakes and it turns better into the corner. And that must give them a big lap time advantage compared to the SC1. And it, of course, still has a lot of grip, but I think the feeling is a bit less, and the professionals have much better feeling than me, for example, for the grip. So I think they can just feel better when the tire starts to slide. So yeah, that's my idea why they prefer the SC2. So for me, I will definitely not use the SC2 in future again, at least not for the next few track days. I will go back to the SC1 or maybe switch to Bridgestone again because Bridgestone has the new VO2 version called 605. And this one should also be a bit more stable on the brakes and it's cheaper, so I will try that. And now I think it's enough about the tires. Let's go to the last part of the video, how to avoid this kind of crash, even if I would ride the same tire, because it's not a bad tire. So I have some ideas what I can change. First idea, setting of the fork. Especially at bumps, it's important to have a soft front fork setting, so the fork works smoothly over the bumps and the tire doesn't lose grip. I have a K-Tech closed cartridge fork and I'm really happy with the setup. Last year I only had issues during very hard braking that sometimes it bottomed out, so I couldn't really feel it, but I could see it when I checked the travel. So I got the fork serviced last winter, and the mechanic increased the shim thickness of the high-speed compression, and this should have only an effect to the fast movement at first braking impulse. So at mid-corner it should still be very soft and smooth feeling, good feeling. And now the fork uses 90% of its travel, and the bike has less toppy tendency because if it bottoms out, also the rear wheel can come up more during braking. And I felt all right with the setup. Maybe for the bumps, a softer setup would be better, but I think you shouldn't change too much your setup. You should have one good setup and then keep it like this. Um, if you're a professional, of course, you have to change your setup, but I think most of us are not at that level. So better try to improve your riding. Here I got two ideas. The first one I learned from a very fast Swiss rider. He said, I made the mistake that 90% of the riders do when they lose the front. Because if you check earlier in the video, when I lost the front, the bars went to the inside of the corner. And that is because your head tells you that you need to pull the bars to turn more and rescue the bike. But actually, that is the worst you can do. I should have just almost let the bars completely loose to let them balance the bike by itself. This is due to the geometry. So it could work because that way you would get pushed to the outside of the corner, but as long as I can stay on the bike, I might be able to get the bike up again because the front tire has the chance to find grip again. It sounds a bit crazy, but it also is logic. So another technique is to press your elbow or knee against the asphalt to push the bike back up. Because in the corner your knee is sliding anyways on the asphalt, so you can use it to just push against the asphalt to push the bike back up again. Yeah, and then second idea, and I think it's enough for this video, it's already very long. It's my body position. I will show you a helmet perspective of a world-class rider in that section of the track, and then show you my perspective again. You will see that especially at the corner exit, he puts his upper body and head super low and far to the front to put as much weight as possible on the front to avoid the front tire losing grip. So I tried to do this already, but I can see he does it much more. So that is something I will try to concentrate on next time I'm riding. And I hope you enjoyed the video. It was the first time I do such a video. I just uploaded some of my riding before. So yeah, I hope you like it and press the like button. Subscribe to my channel. And yeah, see you soon. Stop. Sorry, I missed one really important point. I just realized when I saw the video of the professional rider, because he does the corner where I crashed in second gear and I do it in third gear. And I thought in the beginning, like when I crashed later, I thought, ah, yeah, maybe I should have done it in second gear, but I thought it's not really important. But now I realized it is because in second gear the engine brake is much higher, and it means when the rear wheel brakes, it puts the front lower. The weight is transferred to the front, and then you have more weight on the front, so the front has more grip. For me, it was like on the first day I did it in second gear, so I went at first to third gear, braking, down to second gear, into the corner. But the problem is this corner is a bit too fast for second gear, because right after the corner, you need to flip over the bike to the left side. And before you flip it, you need to put it in third gear, because once you're on the left side, you have no chance to shift. So I did that, and I thought it's very stressful when you're leaning off the bike, picking up, shifting, and then flipping it over. So I thought, I just do it in third gear. But yeah, I have less weight on the front if I do it in third gear. So I think that's a good wrap up for this video. I suggest everyone to ride with cameras, because you can't remember when you do something if you did it like this or like this. You have to concentrate so much on many things when you're riding. And if you have it on camera, you can analyze what happened. So for example, the first crash I did, like I showed you in between, where I did the throttle mistake, I didn't know why I crashed. I just knew it because I had the video. So yeah, now it's enough. Enjoy the difference between the two helmet cams, and yeah, talk soon.